Greetings. Welcome to my March wrap-up video. The first thing I want to say is, please ignore my greasy hair. The second thing I want to say is, look at my nails. I'm very obsessed with them. My girlfriend painted them yesterday, and I forgot how much I like having nail polish. But that's beside the point. Before I get into the videos that I finished in March, I want to give an update on what I'm reading right now. So, I was reading Watership Down to my girlfriend, but it was getting a little bit dark, which you wouldn't think when it's, a story about rabbits, but it was getting a little gruesome. So she wanted to take a break from this. So we started reading The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. Is it Tolkien or Tolkien? I don't want to get dragged for this. But we're about halfway through The Hobbit so far, and I do like it. It's a little difficult reading out loud because it's very descriptive and I stumble over my words a lot, but I do like it. Oh, and we're also about halfway through Watership Down too. So once we finish The Hobbit, we're gonna go back to Watership Down and finish that. And then I don't know what we're gonna read after that. I kind of want to start reading the Harry Potter books to her, but I reread all of the Harry Potter books 2 years ago, so I don't know. It might be too soon for me. The other book that I'm reading just on my own is The Couple Next Door by Sherry Lapina. I'm not gonna say anything about it because it's gonna be in my April wrap-up video, but I will say that I'm over halfway done, so there's that. Okay, so I finished 2 books in the month of March. I've been finishing 2 books every month this year so far, so hopefully that changes. I read 1 graphic novel and then 1 horror novel. They came out to a total of 628 pages, and then I gave 1 book 3 stars and 1 book 4 stars. So kind of the typical average rating that I normally give. So the first book that I finished was Blue is the Warmest Color by Julie Morrow. This is a graphic novel. It was turned into a movie, which I have watched 3 times, I think. I really love the movie. I think it's beautiful, and it's one of the best queer movies, I think. There's not tons of good ones, so I guess that makes sense. So I was expecting to love this graphic novel, maybe even more than the movie, but I didn't. I liked it, and I thought the art was really cool. There is one specific section that I was like, oh yeah, that's really cool. Okay, I thought these 2 pages were just really cool, and I really do like the art, but I don't know, the relationship between the main characters, Clementine and Emma, felt off to me. It felt a little more toxic and just not as stable and healthy as the movie. I mean, the movie, there were still toxic parts, but I don't know, in the graphic novel, I guess it was just made more obvious. I don't know why. But there's also a major difference, one big major difference between the graphic novel and the movie, and it basically states it on the first page. So that screwed me up a little bit because I really was expecting it to be just like the movie, which a lot of the scenes were, almost all of them were, but the one basic like underlying situation happening was not in the movie. And it did make me more emotional for the ending, because it it was just more sad. And like, I just spaced out a couple seconds ago, but it makes me think of a Dean and Castiel fanfiction called Twist and Shout. I don't want to give any spoilers, so I won't say anything about it. But if any of you have read that fanfiction called Twist and Shout, the ending of that is very, very similar to the ending in this, and I think that's what really made me emotional because of that stupid fanfiction. So, I don't know. I liked it, and there were some quotes in it that I thought were important. I don't feel like looking it up right now. But yeah, I liked it. I feel like I would have liked it more if it was longer and more fleshed out. But it is a graphic novel, so I can't expect too much. But I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. I would recommend it. Like, the art is still beautiful, and the story, I think, is still important. But, yeah. Just a little disappointed in this one. So, I borrowed this from my friend, so I will be giving this back to him. I won't be keeping this. The second book I finished in March was finally Let the Right One In by Jean-Avid Lindquist. I know that's not how you pronounce his name, but it's close enough. You guys know how long I've been reading this book, and it was my girlfriend's book. She gave it to me, and it was in almost brand new condition when she gave it to me, and now the cover is all bent because it's been through a lot. It's been carried around in my backpack a million times, and yeah, it's been through it. But I really enjoyed this book. The basic story is that there is a 12-year-old boy named Oscar, and he is bullied in school, doesn't really have any friends, and he's really obsessed with like murderers and stuff. And there is a murderer going around, not in his neighborhood. I kind of don't understand like the towns and like their relationships to where he lives, but in his area there's a murderer going around, and he's like really interested in it. And then he meets this girl who lives next door, and this isn't a spoiler because it says so in one of the blurbs on the back, but it turns out that that little girl is a vampire. So the story follows Oscar and the little girl, whose name is Eli. It follows both of their perspectives, and then it also follows a couple of background characters that don't know those two directly, and it follows two of Oscar's classmates. One of them is kind of his friend, and the other one is one of his bullies. And then it also follows the one who's kind of his friend's stepdad. Like, it's a whole thing. There's a lot of perspectives, and some of them I don't think were super necessary to the story. Like, it would have been a perfectly okay book without all of those side perspectives. I really feel like I would have enjoyed it more if it was just Oscar, Eli, and then the guy who Eli was living with named Hakan. because he had some perspectives too. If it was mainly those three and maybe like some peppering in of the other character's point of view, that's fine. The other point of views didn't make me not like it, but I feel like they weren't integral. Did I say that right? Integral. I don't know. To the story. There are a few trigger warnings. I can't think of them off the top of my head, so I will include them in the description, because this book is dark. It is a horror novel, but it's not scary. There's not like jump scares or anything. It's not really scary. It's just dark and kind of messed up. So I'll put the trigger warnings in the description. Let's see. Something I did not like was the last 50 pages. I liked the last couple of pages, like the very ending. Like, it brought a smile to my face. I was like, this is good closure. Mostly. It was a little bit of a cliffhanger, but mostly good closure. But the last 50 pages, the author just tried to rush everything to a close. So it's like, this book is almost 500 pages. And he waited until the last 50 pages to explain how all of these characters are connected. And it just seemed very rushed. Like, I would have gladly have read another 50 pages added onto this if it would have made the ending less rushed. I did like the very ending. I didn't actually know what to expect for the ending. Like, the last 50 pages, I don't think they were supposed to be a twist, and I don't think they really were a twist, but I don't know. I guess I had no idea what to expect for the ending of a book like this, so I guess I like how it ended. This is a pretty sloppy wrap-up, but yeah. So I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I feel like if a couple things were changed, it would have gotten a 5-star, but I still do like it. And I would recommend it to people who can handle dark things, because it isn't for the faint-hearted. It's not like really graphic, it's just dark. Like, that is just the one word that I would use for it, is dark. So if you can handle dark things, if you like those kind of books, then I would recommend this. So those are the 2 books that I read in March. My April wrap-up should have at least 3 books in it, because I've already finished 1 book, and then I got halfway through 1 book and DNF'd it, and then I know I'm gonna finish The Couple Next Door. So at the very least, it will have 3 books, but I'm hoping to get 4 books so that I can have something more to talk about, because so far I'm not having a very good reading month. These books are not getting very high ratings, so I hope that the book that I end up reading after The Couple Next Door is one that I really like, because otherwise it's going to be a very short and sad April wrap-up video. Excuse me, I feel like I burp in every single one of my videos. Okay, so I apologize for how sloppy this is, and how bad the lighting is, because the room that I'm in right now normally has 3 light bulbs, but it only has 1, so it's not lit to its full potential. So, yeah. I'm also going to be posting a testosterone voice update after or right before I post this video. Not that it really matters which order, but yeah, so I'm going to post that too, so you can watch that too, and that's all I have to say. I don't want this video to be too long and awful. Okay,